This is the Business Growth Hacks Podcast, presented by Beefy Marketing. Here's your host, Andrew Brockenbush.
Howdy there, Andrew.
And here's the greatest co-host of all time, John Fritzsching. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, good to talk to you again. It's not like we don't talk every day, but
not in podcast
the people
form.
hear us.
Yes, they can hear our conversation now.
You're welcome, people. Today, I like to call the episode today we're going to do is probably more of like a bite-sized podcast episode.
Yeah.
Maybe not as long as our normal format, but
An
great.
appetizer.
Oh, yes, appetizer.
Little fried Zeta Frita.
A little beefy snack, if you will.
Yeah. A beefy bite.
It is December,
Yes,
which means Christmas is upon us.
it sure is.
We talked about Black Friday a couple episodes ago
Yep.
and the craziness of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I would kick this thing off with a holiday question.
Okay.
Would you rather eat a candy cane that tastes like turkey or a turkey that tastes like a candy cane?
Now, regular peppermint candy cane or one of the fancy new ones?
Ooh. For the purpose of the question, we'll go standard candy cane.
Okay.
Although there are much better candy canes now.
All right. That helps clarify it a little
But
bit.
standard
Okay.
issued candy cane.
Man, I would be kind of disappointed if I was eating turkey and it tasted like a candy cane. So I think I would rather have a candy cane that tasted like turkey, but that might weird me out.
I know. I've been struggling with this one too. It's been in my head.
Yeah,
But I haven't made a definitive answer.
I haven't either. I'm going to be honest. I read the question before we started and I still don't have an answer.
I think I would go candy cane that tastes like turkey.
Yeah.
Only because, well, I don't know. I guess that could be argued both ways. But I guess I was going to say it's smaller. So, once it's gone, whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I already ate,
It's
so
not-
the weirdness
well,
would last for a smaller
If you
period.
have like a giant turkey that tastes like candy, you're eating candy cane for weeks.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I
That's
don't want to
exactly
do that.
right.
I don't want to do that. So I guess, I'm going to go with turkey that.
It also depends on what kind of turkey.
Oh.
I mean, because you've got smoked turkey, baked turkey, fried turkey. I think if it was a fried turkey tasting candy cane, I might be down with that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it'd be savory,
100%.
but it'd be like a beef jerky stick.
It'd
kind of.
also be kind of weird. Like, I don't know.
It's weird in general.
I think either way, you're putting a flavor with something that it doesn't belong with, kind of.
I wish we had a sound effect from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Which
You
one
know,
of the-
snozberries taste
the
like
snozberries.
snozberries. Like everything. Like,
Yeah.
There's all the weird stuff that tasted like other stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then little,
Yeah, in that weird little
I
candy
got you.
tour.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess more on topic
Yeah.
with today's episode, beyond the candy cane that tastes like turkey. If you could start any business right now, today,
Yeah.
what would you start?
Man. I think I would start a music store of some kind.
Love it.
That way, I don't have to buy everything per se. I mean, yeah, you do, but
Yeah,
you got to fill your store.
but
But
somebody's paying. Somebody else hopefully will pay for it over
I get
time.
to try everything before I have to buy it officially for myself. You know what I mean? Because I don't know.
There's so many ideas I have.
I know.
obviously.
I also would have it kind of be like a musician's playground / studio, possibly. Like,
Yeah. It's kinda
I
a
feel
little bit of
like
everything.
anything you do now that's going to be novel of an idea, you're going to have to do something / something almost, Like
Yeah.
some kind of fusion of something to be.
Yeah, nowadays to be on brand and
Original.
trendy. I don't know what I would start. There's a lot of little ideas. I'm like,
Yeah.
it'd be cool to own a kolache factory or
Yeah.
like
I
little
would,
things like that.
Me and my wife have a dream of a place, a little sports bar, basically.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Somewhere I can go watch baseball when I'm old.
And it's like yours. Yeah, like your little restaurant that you've got. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. If I could start a business, what would I start? Obviously, I'm a business owner, so it's tough because it's like I already did that.
Well,
but
I did that.
but if I could do it again.
Do it again. So I guess Beefy Marketing's the answer to your question.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
This is I guess this is second business though, because we had Faith
Yeah.
recording studios
Yeah,
a
there
long
was
time
another
ago.
one, yeah.
So we had a recording studio, which was
Yeah.
a blast. We
It
still reminisce about
We actually
all those times.
talked this morning about what we would do differently. So
we
honestly,
kind of
we could open a studio again
and just do it totally different.
totally different. Yeah.
And make it like you honestly kind of like it goes in line with what your answer was. Like
Yeah.
kind of like this playground of sorts.
Right.
We sell music stuff.
Yeah.
But we also have this whole hangout area where you can
Right.
record and Maybe there's even like a live venue aspect, and it's like,
I know I don't know the what, but I know what the culture looks like. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
I know
100%.
kind of how I want it to feel, how I want it to make you feel.
I'd like to get into real estate, but I don't know if that's I don't know if that's called like a business. I mean, it is obviously.
Yeah, it is.
But it's like, it's not a specific, I think having my own, real estate, specifically like commercial office buildings or something like that would be kind of cool. Because then I'd get to work with way more small businesses, and
well, yeah, and it gives another aspect to the
ties back to everything else we do, right? Today we're talking about why you should never start a business. How does that
Not
go
once.
back? If you could start a business, what would you start? Never do it.
Don't do it.
We're going to be talking about reasons why you should never start a business. So I'm not saying you should never start a business. I said reasons why you should never start a business.
That's good to clarify there.
It's different.
Clarify.
I know you might have to rewind and listen to that phrase a few times to completely grasp that.
Yeah.
But we're going to be breaking down why you might not start a business. All right. The first things first.
Oh yeah.
Everyone thinks that starting a business means this lifestyle of freedom.
Oh yeah. Because
We've talked about this before.
Quit, be your own boss.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just do this thing.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that when you get into the, business ownership, it's going to be this lifestyle of freedom. And when then they get into that position, they quickly find out that was not the case.
Right.
It is a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We can both speak from experience there.
Yeah.
As a freelancer and as a business owner, we can certainly agree that it is a lot of work. We talked about it in the car on our way back from lunch today. It was like, when you own a business, all of a sudden you have a responsibility for more than yourself.
Right. Especially if you've hired employees.
That's right.
Like, I've got to keep doors open to keep food on these guys' plates now.
Yeah. And that's like a big, I don't want to call it burden,
but a
responsibility.
It can be pressure. Yeah.
And that can be overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
It can cause, at home, relationship trouble and family trouble, and it can cause financial, tolls, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I want to kind of just preface the conversation with is that you need to know before you get into starting a business what the reality is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't come with moments of
freedom,
pure, freedom and pure joy, and because it is incredible to do what we do.
Right.
But it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Well, I think about the term be your own boss. Sounds great, but you have to be the boss of yourself.
Yeah.
Which means you got to.
And do you have the
wherewithal to
do that?
Yeah.
It's like saying, I don't need a personal trainer. I'm just going to go to the gym.
Work out. Yeah.
For some people, they're fully capable of that.
They're that disciplined and of themselves. Yeah.
And I think that is probably the separator or the differentiator is, are you disciplined enough to be able to say, if I want to be successful, I have to push myself.
Right.
There's there are certain days, even at our company, that I'm like, man, it would be so much easier if I had a boss.
Yeah.
If somebody told me, Andrew, you have to get this done by the end of the day, because if you don't, you're going to get fired, I'd probably be a bit more productive.
Right. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, sometimes you just get overwhelmed with whatever it is, whether it's personal life or business or decisions, whatever.
The day,
and that can be obviously challenging.
Yeah.
So the first reason why you should not start a business, is because someone else thinks it's a good idea.
Oh.
So
I would say, if that someone is your mom,
definitely
your mom
ask
loves
someone else.
Everything that you do. You can put your fingerprint on the refrigerator and it's great.
Yep. It's like,
don't do it just because mom said so.
That's right.
Definitely.
Somebody might tell you, you're so good at this. You should start your own business. You're great at building forts.
And you might be
great at building websites. You're right. You might be the best there is.
Right.
We all have things we love to do.
Yeah.
Right. And you brought this up earlier, but is it something you want to do?
Or is it something you want to do for money?
That's right.
Because some things I just find relaxing. I would never kayak professionally.
No.
Not once.
Yeah.
I love kayaking.
Me too.
But never would I.
I'm not going to
try to be a professional kayak racer. Now, professional kayak fisherman,
that'd be fun.
if I stumbled into it just by chance, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that sometimes, I think we're all guilty of this, that we we get caught up in the people telling us that, oh, you'd be really good at this,
Right.
that it loses some of the,
Yeah.
I don't know, excitement.
Well, it becomes work and not
That's
a
right.
relaxing thing. And
Like-
that's what I find for myself is, I love to do things, but some things I don't want to do for money.
Yeah, because then you would lose the joy from them.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want the stipulations. I don't want the deadlines. That's what I enjoy about.
Yeah, because
You
I've
know?
thought, it's funny that you brought the kayaking one up, because I've
Yeah.
told myself before, well, how can I make a business out of that?
Yeah, I know.
Because I love to do it, and if it would pay me, that would be cool.
I thought about it too. Yeah.
But then I think about the fact that, like, if it became a job, depending on what it was, obviously,
Right.
I might not like it as much anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd probably be seeking out new hobbies anyway.
Mhm.
Even if I still kayaked a lot, I'd probably want something else to relax.
yeah, graphic design used to be like a hobby for me.
Yeah.
It was something that,
definitely.
like, when we had the recording studio,
Mhm. Yeah.
the graphic side was just more of a
right.
fun.
It
know?
was.
I designed this little album cover here, or
Mhm.
whatever. It was just for fun.
A little shirt here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that evolved into what it is now, where
Right.
this is what I do for a living, which I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but now I've been forced to find new hobbies.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you think,
Right.
right? Like when you're, I wouldn't consider myself a super athletic person by any means.
Yeah.
Like I'm a nerd. That okay, it is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
And so because of that, the typical hobbies,
Mhm.
I play golf, I play football, I play baseball, I play softball, like a league or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not good at any of that.
Right.
And so then I'm like kind of stuck looking at this like, okay, well now what?
Well, what are my hobbies?
Play
then? Yeah.
instruments or
Table
video
tennis,
game,
yeah.
you know? And so it is harder than you think to find hobbies and
Yeah.
cheap hobbies. Hobbies are expensive.
That's the thing. A hobby can turn into, business investment prices real fast.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess that's possibly where some of this stems from as well, because if I'm going to spend that much starting up this hobby, I might as well turn it into a business. But, as we're going to see going through some of these other things here, just because somebody thinks it's a good idea for you to turn something into a business, there's no reason.
That's right. I think most of us should probably simply continue doing the things we love,
Mm-hmm.
right? And not try to monetize it.
Yeah. If you love something for the sake of loving it, then by all means do that. Now, I also understand the love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. And we've stumbled into that here as well
Yeah.
with Beefy.
And you're right. I think that in the grand scheme, there are a select few of people,
Yeah.
few people that they're going to love something, be passionate about it, and they should monetize it.
Right.
I'm not saying that this is like a, one size fits all.
Yeah, no.
But I'm saying that for the most of us, just because someone told you you're good at it or because you love to do it does not mean it should be
I
a
would say
business.
solely that is never the reason. If you have that and some market research to back up why it would be a good business and you would enjoying it and you're looking at maybe retiring from your job or something, and
Yeah.
this would, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Your situation's your situation. We're speaking in generalities, and we're gonna miss your niche. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So don't read this as set in stone.
Yeah. Another reason is you hear this a lot, especially from the entrepreneur or from the guy that's like, I'm going to quit my day job.
Mm-hmm.
No one else is doing it. So the market is all mine. I'm guilty of that. I'm like, well, no one's doing this, bro. It would be the best idea ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, Andrew,
Is
come back down to earth.
yeah. There might be a reason people aren't doing that.
That's exactly right. It could be a bit of a red flag here,
Yeah.
right?
If nobody's doing it,
Why?
maybe it's because it's not worth doing.
That's right.
Mhm.
And again, generalities.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that, every single time. Yes, you might stumble upon
Right.
that, one opportunity where you're
Right.
like, dang, this really is, there's a need. We see the opportunity.
Right.
People are looking for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, yeah. And I know I was like joking with you, like bad marketing plans and
Yeah.
the Ice Cube golf ball. Now, you're not going to sell that to be used on the golf course,
Yeah.
but in the bar, in the clubhouse,
Yeah, it could be a great little,
you might be able to
novelty
sell that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so just because it's not a good idea for where you thought it was doesn't mean, but what am I trying to say?
I say just because the product doesn't exist doesn't mean it should exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And just because it doesn't work out the way you think it should doesn't mean it's not a viable product.
That's right.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes. Good job.
There it is.
You got it. We need like a little epiphany.
I don't have one of those.
Hell yeah.
That's what I was going to.
Something else, I think you have to ask yourself, is there a market for it?
Yeah.
Is the product
Definitely.
is the product too expensive to create?
Yeah, is that why it doesn't exist? Because nobody can create it at a cheap enough price for anyone to buy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because again, the reality is if you have an idea, someone else has had it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, look at patents that go back a long time.
That's right.
And some of those products are just now being released possibly.
Because of machinery,
because they didn't have the
technology.
technology to produce the thing cheap enough for it to be a viable product.
That's right. Because if your margin, you mentioned this earlier, if your
Yeah.
margins are nothing,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, I could buy this thing for $12 and sell it for $14. It's
Right.
like, okay, is $2 an item
Yeah, that's not going to make you money.
gonna take care of your family?
No, it'll keep you from, owing people a bunch of money for product. But
Yeah, exactly. But it's not gonna make
it's
you.
not going to make
It's
you
not gonna.
money.
It's probably not gonna pay your rent.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not going to grow your business. It's going to sink it.
Yeah, and the other thing too is beyond even just like the margins of you making money. Sometimes it costs so much to produce a product that what you would need to sell it for
Yeah,
doesn't make sense for the target demographic.
exactly. Yeah, the people you're marketing to would never spend that much on an ice cube. If it's
Yeah.
yeah,
If I'm trying to sell I don't know, some type of fancy product to a group of cowboys,
yeah,
it better fit the cowboy budget.
yeah,
Because if it doesn't, they're
Definitely.
going to look at me like I'm a straight idiot.
mm-hmm.
Even if it's the best thing that ever existed,
Yeah.
they still have a budget.
Well, that's great. I'll stick to my old cheap.
I'm
way
going to
of
do
doing
it the way I'm doing it until
Mhm.
it's a cheaper option for me. It's a great idea. Can't
Yeah.
afford it. Right. And then at that point, if you went all in and you tied up all those resources and money
Yeah.
in it, you see it all the time on Shark Tank
Oh yeah.
and The Profit, that other great investment show,
Mhm.
where businesses they did exactly these things.
Right.
Great idea, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're looking for investors and money. And, the sharks are saying, hey, why do you need this money? Well, we've got so much money tied up in inventory or machining or blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
It's like, oh,
ugh. Well, yeah, dude, because you didn't do your research first.
right on the product.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no money here. It's not that it's not a good product, but the
Yeah.
margins are not good enough to make a business that's scalable or sustainable.
Right. Yeah. This should have been like a one-time deal for your retail store, not,
Yeah.
Yeah, not a full business off of this product.
It
should have been a one.
It could have been a product in a line of products.
Because maybe it would have done well.
Yeah. And we've already talked about it, but sometimes there's just not money to be made. Right?
Yeah, yeah. We kind of hit that either whether it's too expensive to produce for what you have to sell it for, or maybe it's something like that everybody already has.
That's right. Yeah.
Like a grocery basket. I'm not gonna go buy a custom grocery basket. They have one at every grocery store I go to. I don't need
like-
a grocery basket.
Unless
Now,
you
if
have to
I'm
be-
a grocery store owner, that might appeal to me.
Sure.
But your market's going to be smaller, and so you'd have to.
And your margins better be good, and there better be a reason why your cart's better than the other guy's cart.
Yeah, it returns itself.
The other reason you have to be careful about the whole no one else is doing it thing is that someone might have already done it and flopped.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. It was a bad idea.
Just because it doesn't exist right now doesn't mean it hasn't existed.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I feel like you see this all the time too. People are like, "Oh, well, that guy used to be. He must have just been bad at what he did."
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that happens sometimes, but sometimes
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just that, hey, dude, it just didn't work out. Like,
yeah. Or you were too ahead of the curve, or
yeah, think about the Sega Dreamcast.
oh yeah, that
Like,
was a great thing.
One of the coolest game consoles, but when it came out kind of right after maybe like PS1.
I think so. It was definitely before PlayStation 2.
And so because of that, it didn't catch on because it was just super, honestly, it was way ahead of its time.
It was.
And I don't think the games, the people, like nothing was ready for that in the industry.
No, nothing was a disc yet in the game.
Yeah. And so it just kind of all flopped.
Yeah.
And so
It was an odd concept, but it was a great system. Yeah.
I think one of the number one reasons you hear people say that they're going to start a business is because I hate my job.
Yeah.
I'll do it better. I'll just start my own company. I was told early on by a business advisor of mine
Yeah.
that that's like the kind of the worst thought process to ever have. Like, you don't know what goes, like, do you really know what goes into running a business?
Right.
Like-
Well, you think you know what your boss does, but do you really? Until you sit in that chair and run the thing.
Yeah, it's
how
like,
do you know?
did you realize that before you make a single dollar on this product we manufacture, we have $3,000 monthly rent
Yeah.
and a $300 light bill
Yeah.
and a $50 water bill?
Yeah.
Well, before you know it, you've got $5,000 a month coming out
Yeah.
before you've ever turned profit.
Maybe it makes a lot more sense to use one less staple now.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like, you've got you've got to ask yourself that. Just because you think you'd be better than your boss and you hate the guy or you hate your job.
Personality conflict, what have it. If you're not a good team, you're not a good team, but it's not a reason to start your own business.
Yeah, I think quitting or starting anything.
You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself just in starting the business.
Exactly.
I would say start it up mom and pop shop out of your room before you start trying to.
And you have to do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Right. If you go start a business because you hate your boss, you're going down a slippery slope.
For sure.
Right. Because,
chances are there's other things you're unhappy with.
That's
one.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to be in that career field in the first place.
Maybe you don't like the industry.
And there you go. Building a business around something you don't even like.
Right. Just
right.
Yeah.
So I'd say that I wouldn't say it's the number one reason per se, but it feels like it.
It's a pretty bad reason, I think. It's also that whole, well, I'll show you thing, Oh,
I know.
And there's kind of a chip on your shoulder about that attitude, that just an arrogance that you're carrying with you.
Yeah. And it's noticeable.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know how to say this better, but it's ugly. Yeah. Right. And typically you won't be successful. And then whenever it all fails, what are you going to do?
What are you going to go back to?
You can't go back because you were a total jerk about the situation.
Right.
Right.
Especially if you tried to compete with your old company. Yeah, you could be in a real pickle.
I think that, don't mean to beat a dead horse, but when you think about, like, do you hate your boss? Were your coworkers terrible? Is the work environment hostile?
Right. Why would you want to leave?
Like, why do you want to leave?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to get to that question, right?
Yeah. Because if it all comes down to, I just really don't like that I have to be there at 8 a.m. If I could be there at 9, I'd be happy.
Sometimes it is simple as that.
It's like, wow, your boss may be like, well, instead of losing you, sure, come in an extra hour later and leave earlier. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like, sometimes the answer is not quitting.
Yeah.
And starting over again because you think that that's the magic formula to fixing it. Sometimes it's just asking yourself the right questions to figure out what are you unhappy about?
Yeah. Same concept applies with the design sometimes, I sit there and it's like, I hate this thing. I want to wipe it clean and start over. But I'm wasting a lot of time and a lot of work that I put in. Go back to the, take it down to the base level and go from there.
Yeah. What do I not like about this?
It's probably the bells and whistles. It's probably just this. I don't know. It's the blue. I don't like the blue. Yeah.
I don't know if I've shared the story before. If I have, you're welcome because you're heard again here. But sorry for the repeating old man over here.
I'm going to get one for that.
Exactly.
I'll tell you about that.
Tell you about that. When I worked for Chick-fil-A, right out of high school. Did I share this one before?
I don't know.
Maybe. Right. You're going to have like a note of Andrew's stories.
Andrew's stories.
Check 2.
Yep. You said it 3 times.
3 times now. Yeah. I worked at Chick-fil-A and I was very good at my job. And I started getting unhappy because I honestly didn't know I was getting unhappy. I started being kind of a dick.
Yeah.
My attitude changed. Mm-hmm. I wasn't showing up the way I was showing up prior to that.
Yeah.
And my boss, the owner of the Chick-fil-A location, called me to his office and said, dude, like,
what's up?
You've always been like one of my best employees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you show up on time, you do your thing, you're a leader, blah, 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 blah. He's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I don't feel like I'm getting paid like what I'm worth. And he's like, well, what do you make? And I was like, whatever it was, $7.50 or $7.25.
Probably not much.
It was not a lot, right? It was minimum wage at the time. And he looked it up in the system and was like, dude, he's like, I don't know that. He's like, not that he's just so above that he doesn't know it, but it's like, that's managed on a manager level.
Yeah, that's going to be somebody else's. Yeah.
And he didn't see that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, if you would have just come to me and told me,
I would have known.
I would have done something about it because I respect you and I do respect what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll take care of that, but I need you to show up like you've been showing up in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And so it was kind of a big lesson I took from that. I was like, sometimes you just have to ask. People don't always know like why things are going wrong for you.
Yeah. No one's a mind reader.
And that was a big learning opportunity for me, but I feel like that all applies to like, I could have been like, I'm going to start my own chicken company. I'll make the best sweet tea in the world.
Mm-hmm. I'll steal your recipe.
I'll take the recipe.
Sued and whatever.
But it's like, no, I didn't hate Chick-fil-A.
Right.
I didn't hate the boss. I didn't hate my team. I didn't hate
didn't even really hate your job.
I just wasn't happy with how much money I was making.
Which, yeah, that's a very real thing.
That's the only problem that needed to be solved for me.
Yeah.
But imagine if I would have done all of the things in that.
Yeah.
I could have gone down and this happens. I know I was 18 and there was a Chick-fil-A and there was no way I was going to open up a Chick-fil-A competitive company.
Right. Yeah.
But there are grown adults who quit their jobs for reasons that are this or less.
Yeah.
Go take their entire life savings, their 401k or whatever, and pour it into some idea thinking that they're going to just get rich.
Yeah.
All because they were unhappy with one thing.
Right.
That if they would have just had a conversation, could have been solved. Every time would it be solved? No.
Yeah.
But if you at least identify what your pain is,
right,
maybe you can say, you know what? I'm unhappy with the leadership here.
Yeah.
I'm unhappy with the fact that I'm not getting as much, opportunity to learn and grow as I would like to.
Right.
And then you say, you know what? I'm not going to stay in this situation.
Yeah.
I certainly can't afford to go try to be a competitor to this and lose my entire life savings. But I do have the, intelligence and the forethought to know that, hey, maybe I should go start exploring opportunities where I might be better off.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit with, at lunch today.
Yeah.
About some of the big commercial companies and kind of how that sometimes can be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I stayed on that one for a while because I feel like it's a lot of time.
Well,
it's
it's definitely this time of year, people are definitely getting frustrated, especially if they're not getting off for the holidays like they'd like.
That's right. Overworked.
And it
not
can
giving
really
breaks.
make you think, I'm just going to quit my job and start something then.
Yeah.
And not that there aren't success stories with that.
100%.
And I'd say if you hate your job, you've got a really good idea that no one else is doing that's not a bad idea. And, you've looked at other people in the industry that would suggest that your idea is solid.
Yeah.
Then you want to start partnering with people and start.
Yeah.
Put the wheels in motion.
Somebody just asked us yesterday, what do you think about this business idea?
Yes.
And my answer for them was,
are you ready for the work?
Are you ready for the work? Are you ready for the hard work that's going to go into it?
Yeah. And that is always the question.
It is. Starting your own business is damn hard work.
Always.
It is not something you can take lightly. You can, again, going back to the last one.
Well,
you have to do it for the right reasons.
Right.
But you can't just do it just because, I'm going to start a business.
This brings me back to be your own boss. Be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Run it.
Yep.
You shouldn't be waiting on yourself to hit your own deadlines. You know, if you're going to be boss, be a boss.
And know that if you cannot successful is not the right word. If you cannot guarantee that you're going to be able to have staff in the beginning, or the money, financial resources to keep employees, or even just deal with employees that don't show up, you are signing up to get into a business regardless of who shows up for you.
Exactly. Like if you're starting a restaurant, you are agreeing to work every position in that restaurant.
That's
basically.
Right. There's just not a way around it.
If your host calls off, guess who's the host for that day?
That's right. Oh, and you can say, I'm not going to do that. I don't have to do that.
True.
Your business is not going to last.
Yeah, you're going to have other issues then.
I mean, I can think
and if you don't address,
a lot of major fast food restaurants, big restaurants, small restaurants, specifically in that industry, where you go in and your experience is absolute garbage. Just totally terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell it's because there's poor leadership.
Yeah. You can tell that no one cares.
No one cares.
There's no one leading them
when the
to
leadership
care.
doesn't care.
Yeah.
Why? You set the precedence that's okay. It's acceptable.
Leadership creates the culture, whether you want to believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent.
I had to.
You had to. Be your own boss. Be the boss, but don't quit your job and start a business for that reason. That's not a reason.
It's not a reason. The real number one reason, which we talked about briefly in the beginning, is that you want the freedom that comes with owning your own company. And it ties back to what we just said.
Because,
you are not guaranteed freedom.
No. Yeah.
I wish they could hear the silence that I'm leaving in the room.
Yeah, let's leave it one more time. There it is. Yeah.
There is not a guaranteed freedom.
No, not at all.
Dude, for me,
I know.
There's a lot of hours that go into this company.
Yeah.
I know. To doing this podcast.
Yeah.
To doing everything we do.
To doing everything we do. Because this podcast is a very small facet of what we do here.
Yeah. It is our fun break.
It is a fun break.
From the real stuff.
Right.
it is freeing in a lot of ways.
It can't. Yeah.
But during those startup years, it is a grind.
Oh, yeah. And we're kind of back in grind mode, getting the office opened up.
It's exactly, dude. Because for those of you guys don't know, Beefy Marketing is our marketing agency.
Right. Yeah. We need some history.
We've been in business roughly 10 years. We've had some problems along the way. We've had, partnerships that didn't pan out, and we've had terrible years of sales. We've had terrible years of customer service. We've learned a lot. Okay. But in those first few years, absolute hustle and grind.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, it almost feels like we're starting Beefy again.
Yeah.
Because we have a brand new team.
Right.
Like almost every single person on the team is
new facets of the business that are just starting. That require
and stuff that we're
grind.
talking about.
Yeah.
Right. And so through all of that, you're doing a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And you're wearing a lot of hats.
Oh, yeah. Especially in small business.
John, why don't you tell people, name a few of the things that you do at Beefy?
I do podcast production.
Okay.
I do everything video.
Podcast production. Name a few things that go into that.
That is creating scripts, scheduling people to come in, scheduling the studio, managing the studio schedule itself. I do that.
Yep.
Because it makes more sense for me to do it because I know what's going on in here.
Yep. Managing post-production teams.
Yep. I manage 3 of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 shows.
3 shows.
No, 1.
No, 4.
Yeah.
I manage 4 shows. And then I also do social media video for
social media content.
Anything video that you see for Beefy.
Yep.
Is pretty much, on you. There's some, other people help with the social side of things, but yeah.
Video filming,
editing, pre-planning, acquiring, getting the gear together to go.
Equipment setup,
all of it.
That is one. Okay.
The other day, I literally had a microphone on a boom stand because I couldn't boom for myself while I was filming. Yeah.
That, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of context. That is the same way with every single person on our team.
Oh, yeah.
John, other John.
Everybody.
Kara,
they're
Rosie,
all...
Robin, everyone. Everyone wears a ton of hats.
I'm glad I don't have any admin hats here. Those are the ones I don't like.
I know. I don't either. I have them.
I know you have them here.
A lot of times you're working around the clock.
Yeah.
I'd say for the most part in our culture, we've tried to create a balance there. But in general, sometimes there's just days and stuff that you just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Tonight we've got a live event here in town that we're doing audio and video for.
Late day.
I'm going to be in the town. It's 3:00 now. I've been here since 9. I'll be here till 10.
I think I've had several of those myself since we opened the office of a few late nights.
And then we have multiple companies too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if we're not doing something for the marketing agency,
we're doing something for the other.
The event company might have an event going on, right? So there is a lot that goes on around here.
And we're all, you're right. I didn't even think about that till just now. Everyone here acts like their own business owner.
Absolutely.
We all wear a lot of hats.
Yep. There's also things like worrying about where your money's going to come from. How you're going to get clients.
Yeah.
How you're going to pay your bills.
The literal logistics of how do I get your credit card processed so that I can get money from you.
Okay. I'll tell you a pain point that our company had probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
All of our company, also most of our services are what we call subscription based or monthly recurred billing. And 5-6 years ago, every invoice we sent was automatically invoiced monthly, but there was no auto payment. Meaning I might be 3 months behind with a client because I'm not actively looking at those 40 invoices and saying, oh, did so-and-so mail that check? Oh.
Right.
And then they'd get mad at me because it's like, hey guys, like when I finally had the time to sit down and look, I'm saying, hey guys, you're 4 months behind. They're like, well, why didn't you tell us 4 months ago? It's like, well, because it's just me.
I got a lot of hats. And
I haven't even looked. And they're like, well, you should have. So we had to transition to a point where we were auto billing.
Had to get to a point to where that was no longer an issue.
Yeah. And so there's that. You have to worry about how you're going to pay your bills. And when I talk about paying your bills, you got personal and business.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When you're a business owner, I'm responsible for the business's bills.
Right.
And that could be as simple, for some startup businesses, it might be simple as
a domain.
Email support and or email and maybe some software you have to use or QuickBooks or something. It could be as simple as that. Or a business like ours, dude, we spend more money than we make. It certainly feels like it. We've got equipment, we've got rent, we've got web hosting, we've got software expenses. I mean, the list is pretty extensive.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into making this.
You have to have that stuff to run a business.
Yeah.
And then you start to have to associate that and say, well, okay, can I afford to pay my employees?
Right.
Can I afford to pay myself?
Right. Can I afford to buy lunch for everybody?
Because you certainly don't want to be a business owner that decides to pay yourself over your employees.
No.
And you and I both know people that way.
Yep. Seen it happen.
We've worked for companies that way. We've seen people work for even worse companies like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we just were talking to, one of our guys recently where he was saying that he had to race to the bank on payday
to make sure
to hope to get the first one in line to get your check cashed, because eventually the fifth guy in line, there might not be money in the bank.
Yeah. That's
what?
bad, man. Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me?
I know. I couldn't believe that story.
And meanwhile, the owner's driving around in a fancy car.
A brand new one.
And it's just like, come on. Like, you can't be that way.
No, you can't be rubbing it.
Because I'll tell you right now, that business will not sustain because your employees are going to feel undervalued, underappreciated. And you're going to wonder why your turnover is so high and you have shitty employees. That's why.
That's why.
Because you're a shitty employer.
You don't treat them well. Yeah. I've heard a statement one time. It says, people don't quit bad jobs. They quit bad bosses. I think it's pretty true.
I think so.
Because I don't know that I've ever had a bad job per se, but there was bad people at jobs.
Bad leadership, bad decisions, whatever, baby. I think I'm with you. I
felt unfulfilled.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to name drop. Well, I won't. I worked for a large dollar store. I'll just say that. There's a lot of those. I worked for a large dollar store and I enjoyed the job.
Right.
But the leadership was absolutely horrid. There was no upward movement.
Yeah.
There was no structure. It was a lot of lack of care for the business. And it showed.
Yeah.
And it shows. If you go to some of these big dollar stores.
Yeah. You walk in and you find an employee that just doesn't even care that you're in there. I bet you can find a GM that doesn't care that you're in there.
It's just, and sometimes that's at the very, very top.
Yeah.
It might have been a passionate employee who came in and was excited and they loved their job.
Right.
And then over time,
they get beat down.
And they're like, you know what? Why do I care? No one else does. So you don't want to be that person.
No, you want to keep your people energized for one. And you want to,
Sad.
Yeah.
There's also health insurance, taxes,
all kinds of stuff.
Lawyers.
You talk about freedom.
Crazy.
Yeah, maybe there is freedom. You know what? Because there's things you can do that other people cannot, You can decide that you want to buy a new camera for the company and you can do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to go check through, 10,000 different people to get that permission. You can do that.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, you need to be frugal so you don't screw everything up for everybody else. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be, No,
you're right.
Yeah.
But this podcast episode is not all about blah, 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 the sadness and why you shouldn't start a business.
Right.
It's more about when you go to make it, when you decide to get into this arena.
Yeah.
When you're going to do it, you got to make sure you've asked the right questions.
Know what you're getting into.
That's it.
It's not, don't start a business because these are terrible things. It's, if these are your reasonings behind it, you may want to take a second look.
Yeah. Just at least confirm.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I should quit my job. Let me ask all the other questions first to make sure that that's a good move.
Right.
I should, you'd be really good at that. Okay, you're right. I think I would be.
Yeah.
But again, let me ask all the questions to make sure it's viable.
Is this a good idea?
Is it smart for my family? Is it smart for me?
Can it make money? Is there a market out there for what I want to do?
Yeah. Because you might have what it takes to be a business owner.
Yeah.
And if you do,
go for it.
Do it. And our team, that's what this podcast is for.
That's what we do. Yeah.
We are helping you by providing business growth hacks that are going to help you grow your business once you decide to get after it.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do here is, we've dreamed about some of these things for years coming to fruition. And when we hear that from a client, it's just like, yes, that is what we got into this whole industry for, to see dreams come true.
Yeah.
Well,
let's end this thing with a nice business growth hack.
Ooh.
We've got one. Do we have a sound effect for business growth hacks?
Yep.
Oh.
It's all hacky.
I like it. there are some incredible tools that if you want to get into whatever it may be, you want to quit your day job, you want to find a life of freedom, you think you're really passionate and good at something and your friends and family do too. We talked about asking those right questions, and I want to talk to you about some tools
to help
do that. Yeah. Okay. I'll start with Google Trends.
Oh yeah.
Google Trends is actually really cool.
It is.
It's essentially Google showing you trends of data about people's search behavior. Mm-hmm. So I can pull up, I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, go
Google.com/trends.
Yeah, I wish I had your computer.
I think it's actually trends.google.com for this.
I need to get an HDMI on your computer
pull that
so
in.
I can pull it up.
So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just search man candles.
There you go.
Man candles.
Man candles. Man candles.
This right here is interest over time, and I know you can't see my screen, and maybe we'll pull it over later or whatever, but basically there's a chart here in front of me that shows kind of like a little, chart of how many people are searching for these phrases for a given period, and it's typically in monthly, little bites. And on average, people are only searching for man candles about 38 times a month. In a world of billions of people. 1 billion people.
Yeah.
30 searches a month. Man candles might not be the best idea.
I'm going to tell you, if you want to look at that at dollar amounts, you stand to make maybe $38.
Yeah.
And hold on, if we look at some of our older numbers, you need to see an ad 20 times before you're ready to buy.
Yep.
That means you may have made one sale there, possibly two, almost two, maybe 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, I just would say that keyword right there makes me start to say, you know what?
Probably not a market for it.
You can sell man candles, but it should not be why you're quitting your day job to do it.
It can be a product in your line of men's accessories, maybe.
Yeah. I'm going to search another one. I'm going to search balloon art.
There you go.
And let's just see what this one looks like.
There you go.
This one is searched a couple hundred times per month.
Okay.
Hot air balloon, though, a related topic, is searched quite a few more times. So it's like Google Trends is going to give you some rough data of, is there interest in this in the first place?
Right.
Are people searching for it and it doesn't exist?
Right.
Like, are people searching for this, but there's no answer? We've talked about it in one of our, I think it was our SEO podcast episode.
I think so, yeah.
Uber
That's
Suggest.
what I was trying to,
Uber Suggest is another SEO keyword tool, but it does the same thing.
Yeah.
You can type in a keyword like balloon art or face painting or photo booths.
Whatever.
And it's going to tell you what is the average search volume.
Right.
You can even take it a step further and say photo booths in Houston, Texas. What is the interest in your community? Like, are you trying to be a local business or a national business?
Right. Yeah. That's very valid questions to ask yourself.
So that is a great tool, Google Trends and or Uber Suggest.
Yep.
Another great one is SurveyMonkey.
Okay.
I think everyone in their life has probably heard of someone say SurveyMonkey.
Yeah, and you've probably filled out a form for them.
Yeah, exactly. SurveyMonkey is a survey building software. Anybody can use it. Schools, churches, businesses, whoever, individuals. It is a great way to just interview your audience.
Yeah.
Right? Put it out in front of just start with your Facebook followers.
Yeah.
Hey, would you mind filling out the survey? It helps you gauge interest.
Right.
Even if it's just in your kind of circle of influence.
Yeah, see where you're falling in the scale of things,
Yeah, if you get 100 people to fill it out and 2 say that they love the idea, again, maybe not a reason to quit your day job.
Yeah.
Right?
If you have 100, that's a great idea. Why doesn't that exist now? Here's my money.
Yeah.
That might be a sign to quit that job.
Yeah, at the very least, start putting it in motion.
At least put it in motion. I would say the smart way to do it would be to put things in motion.
Well, like you said, start from home.
Start from home. Make it a transition process.
Our good friend, John Chambliss.
Yep.
Company called 48 Straight. He makes supplements and he's also got a gym. That's how he does it.
Yep.
Kind of a bootstrap effort.
Yeah.
He's a full-time firefighter, and on the side, he's been working on this supplement company. He has incredible products.
He really does.
But he also realizes that he's got a family.
Yeah.
And right now, he still needs that check from the fire department to pay his bills. And hopefully, I'm sure his long-term goal would be to do this every day.
Yeah, I bet it would be.
But he's also being realistic with himself.
Right.
Right? He's not just kind of, I'm not saying it's not a good idea to take a leap of faith every once in a while, but sometimes you have to be realistic and honest with yourself and say, you know what, I've got I've got to be realistic about it.
I'm just saying if you find that there may be something behind this idea, don't throw all your eggs in one basket.
That's right.
Yes, pursue it if it looks like it's pursuable, but don't just dive. I mean, yeah, there is a point where you're right, where you know what, I'm all in, let's do this, but
yeah,
be smart about it.
Be smart about
Tactical moves, not just to jump in and land on a rock.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Another great tool aside from SurveyMonkey would even be just the built-in Instagram polls.
You know, yeah, those are becoming increasingly more popular, and people actually kind of find it fun to fill them out for some reason.
And you almost can. You've probably seen these before, like cat or dog.
Yeah.
Candy cane or lollipop
or turkey.
Or turkey, right? Yeah. And you can kind of just go, like, you can almost do a full survey by integrating kind of just unrelated, silly, fun questions to get someone in it, and then throw in a few questions that, like,
are actual market
the
research.
Real questions you want to get to.
Yeah.
So you almost make it a fun experience, and they don't even know that they're giving you
which is the
answers to
best
something.
way to get, I think, real feedback at this point.
I agree.
Take their defenses down, and then you'll get a real answer.
Yeah, and they won't be like, ugh,
This
business
is a stupid
thing,
survey. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like these.
Because honestly, a lot of the ways that I fill out a survey, if I'm in a hurry, it's going to be 5 or 1.
Yeah, agreed.
Seriously. And I bet it's that way for most people. You're getting a 5 or a 1.
Yeah, I even go down the middle sometimes because some companies.
I wasn't very happy.
If you do the very unhappy or the very happy, then they give you like these text box fields that say, well, why? It's like,
I don't want to answer why. I'm going to go down the middle.
Everything
is somewhat satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhat. Somewhat likely.
Yeah.
I think the last one I want to tell you guys about, we've talked about Fiverr before.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have.
Fiverr is not a sponsor yet, but Fiverr, if you're listening, come on, sponsor the podcast. Fiverr is incredible. Not only can you find incredible creators that are graphic designers and artists and podcasters and you name it.
Oh, yeah.
If you need
whatever you want something created.
They're there.
There's somebody that makes it.
But a lot of times people, I think when Fiverr first came out, it was only like a creative space.
Yes.
It is so much more than that.
Right. Yeah.
I've hired people on there to do data research for me. Like, hey, there's this website that has you know, for example, we're building a website called visittomball.com, which is a directory site for the area. And there was this website that I said, hey, this has a ton of Tomball businesses on it.
Yeah.
I need someone to bring those businesses over into a spreadsheet to pull into my system.
There you go. That way.
And I hired someone on Fiverr. She went out and did all the data entry and data research. Gave me a nice spreadsheet. And it didn't cost me a lot, and she was incredible.
Right.
I loved it. There are also market researchers there.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually get on there, pay a small amount of money, $30, $40, and they actually go to a group of people and do the questions for you.
Wow.
So Fiverr is an incredible tool.
So you can actually get focus groups.
That's right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So Fiverr, good one.
Yeah.
And Fiverr I love Fiverr. I'm a huge Fiverr fan. Like, that's why they should be a sponsor.
Yeah, just
I need to
start calling things.
I need to call Fiverr up.
Yeah,
Mr. Fiverr.
I mention you in every episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start putting their logo on my computer screen.
Huge fan, man. Huge fan.
Fiverr shirt.
Beefy Fiverr.
Here's the deal. If you want to start a business, make sure you ask the right questions.
Yeah, do it for the right reasons.
Do it for the right reasons. And if you need help, that's what we're here for.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the purpose of the podcast is for. That's the purpose of our company. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's like what I think is we're most passionate about.
Yeah. We want to help people.
Like, I love starting businesses. Even more than helping existing businesses grow their business, I love helping people that have an idea.
I like to,
decide if it's a good idea.
Watering an idea.
Me too.
You know?
And sometimes they're good, and sometimes
you got to prune them.
I actually have a meeting every Thursday morning with a business friend of mine. And literally all we do is share business ideas. Yeah. And we both look at each other and say, or and then we decide, and then we say, okay, that one has, potential. Yeah. We give it to our market research girl. She goes and does some of the legwork to see if it's a good idea and brings those answers back. And we say from there, okay, what she came back with.
Here's our market research.
Maybe that's good. Maybe we learned that it's not.
Sometimes we find this is why that thing doesn't exist.
That's right.
Because it shouldn't.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the podcast. John, always great chatting. I thought this was going to be a micro episode, but I don't think it was.
No, it was like right at 49 right now.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry.
Surprise.
Quit saying that it's going to be a short one. Every time we do that, we go an hour for sure.
See you guys.
Later.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Business Growth Hacks Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. To get more marketing tips and tricks, follow Beefy Marketing on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Beefy Marketing. And to take your business to the next level, check out our website at www.beefymarketing.com.